But he was claiming that they were being bombarded so badly that he had to put the governor on how many tweets people could see. Basically, how many calls to the app you could do.
Not the number of tweets that you send out.
No, just overall how many
scrolling
you
and
see.
reading.
Essentially, they screwed up and they're trying to cover for it. There's one report that says they didn't pay their bill to Google to host this, their cloud servers. So Google's like, that's not how this works. You owe us money. And if you don't pay us money, we're shutting down the server.
Yeah.
And they're scrambling to get the stuff to somewhere else. And then there was another theory that it essentially was doing a denial of service attack on itself. Like somebody screwed something up in the software.
Oh, you mean all those people that they let off?
They fired, right. So all these things are coming home to roost.
Weird.
And it was impossible to get on Twitter. Like if you own Twitter and you want it to succeed, you want people looking at your app more.
Right.
Not less.
Not less.
So in a way, it was like, oh, I've reached my limit of tweets for the day. Well, I guess I could do one of two things. I can go to another social media site. I finally got it. I got my blue sky situation correct. Or I could go outside and touch grass.
Should I know what blue sky is?
Not really.
Okay.
It's a Twitter competitor, or it's the Twitter clone that the guy who owned Twitter before, Jack Dorsey, has started. Anyway, so I'm just kind of giving you the lay of the land of where things are with Twitter. And this has been headed in this direction since last fall, where Twitter is just deteriorating as a service, and the usefulness of it continues to deteriorate as well. And that's where we get into, well, what does this have to do with sports? Well, I'm here to claim that the fun sports Twitter has been dying anyway. I mean, it's not like it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago,
where
was
you're
the
watching
peak.
a game and you're engaged and there's some sense of community and
yeah. If you cannot rely on the service, there's no reason to be on the service. And I have a sinking feeling that Twitter, as a service that benefits sports fans, because where it really shines and what other social media platforms cannot do, is give you that real-time sense of community of you watching a game with other people or keeping up with other games from those who cover them,
right,
while you're somewhere else keeping an eye on the game,
or lagging 8 minutes behind on Hulu.
That or that too, although I feel like that's kind of changed over time. So I'm at the point to just declare sports Twitter dead. Sports Twitter is dead. People are going to get used to just not going to the service. It's not going to be as fun as it used to be. There's still going to be stragglers like me that are still, I still use the service, and it sucks. There's this attitude that people have that when I start talking about Twitter, or other people start talking about Twitter, it's this, well, if you don't like it, don't use it. I'm like, no, I'm lamenting the loss of something that used to be fun.
Right.
Twitter was incredibly useful for me.
A lot of people, trust me when I tell you, back in the day when I started at the News and Observer and we wanted to go get fans, guess who had to go out on the street and go to a bar and go to a tailgate and go talk to people?
Mm-hmm.
And you think at 48, oh, that's easy. Like, when think of all the youths now, they just want to text each other.
Right.
And part of that culture is because of Twitter.
Right.
Like, hey, we just reach out. Like, that made my job so much easier. That made so many people's jobs so much. Hey, I need you to go find a disgruntled Canes fan. Send out a tweet. Hey, are you upset about Tony D'Angelo? Okay, well, I don't have to sit here and go find somebody. They'll find me on Twitter.
Dude, about 10 years ago, there used to be aggregated. I did this. At one point, you just go aggregate the best of Twitter because people just weren't seeing it, and it made for good, quick, easy content and kind of gave you an idea of where people were. So it sucks because I really liked the service. I thought it was great for what we did. I made real friends off of Twitter
along the way.
No, seriously.
Yes.
I know it's easy to make the joke that, maybe there is no rate limit on the friends we've made along the way.
Right.
Joe.
Right.
But Twitter, I'm not trying to make an argument that Twitter doesn't suck. That doesn't have its like really, really bad aspects. But hey, I've met some really cool people. I've been able to actually make actual real life friends from Twitter. It's made it easier for you and I to connect with colleagues in other markets, so that when we go to a Final Four, when we go to an ACC event, it's like a cool get together where we get to hang out in real life. So I lament.
They know who you are.
I lament the loss.
You
of
can
that.
send them clips and say, hey, no, really, you were on the show.
You were well, it's not even that too. It's like there's direct correlation from doing what we do, doing radio or doing podcasts before video was ubiquitous like it is now.
Yeah.
People start to recognize you like, hey, I know who you are because of social media, as opposed to the faceless person who's coming out of your radio speaker. So it was a revolutionary product that really helped us connect and talk about things that we liked. And we've made some really cool communities. And unfortunately, there's nothing that can replace that. I mentioned Blue Sky. You looked at me like I had 8 heads.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with it.
There's Mastodon, which is another one of these Twitter clones. There's Discord, but Discord is for other more private communities. Reddit has its own things. So I feel like there's a true loss of a community that really allowed everybody to come together in real time. And we're going to go back to a fractured state of message boards, Reddit pages, Discord servers, or people just texting with their friends in a Slack group, WhatsApp, or just a straight up old fashioned iMessage text thread. So, which is what I prefer to do. I don't need your fancy apps for any of that stuff. So it sucks. And in some ways, it might actually be beneficial to sports coverage that we're not so obsessed with the bubbles of people being mad all the time. Like you and I had this conversation about the Canes having really good offseason moves. But I'm sure if I went to Canes Twitter, I can find people who are like, what did the Canes really do? Or they're really mad that they would get rid of Pesci. I'd rather have Pesci than Orlov, and being all mad about that stuff. People get lost in their echo chambers. But for the most part, I've seen more good in the sports aspect of things than not.
Just to go full like galaxy brain here.
Yeah.
Isn't Twitter just like college? It is what you make of it.
It is.
Right? If you found value in it, then that's awesome. You can't judge it based on the people who are complete and total assholes on Twitter.
No,
you judge it by what you got out of it.
I got incredible value out of Twitter. I don't get that same value anymore. I spend less time on the service. Obviously, we pump out our content, but I'm not spending as much time on that service as I was 10 years ago, which was fun. And also with athletes and celebrities and other big name people, they kind of treated it as, oh, they also have like a random thought about this movie. Like, oh,
you know what the kids are doing now, though?
What are they doing now?
Making their own podcasts.
That's right.
So we created our own little community right here on the OG.
That's right.